Hey peeps, welcome to another video. Today it's that time of year again. It's going to be my birthday wish list or a guide of what to get the seamstress in your life. So it's a not so subtle hint to my nearest and dearest, and hopefully it's something that you can show your significant others that yeah, you always ask me what to get for my birthday. Get me this. So I'm going to jump straight in and start off with fabric, and that should come as no surprise. Now I know that's quite a broad suggestion to get for people, but if you ask any sewer, there is always going to be that one, in my case 3, really special fabrics that they've seen, that they really want, that they know the perfect project for, but it is a little bit more expensive and something that they haven't been able to either afford themselves or justify for themselves. And for me it's tweed and 2 silks that I'm going to show you. I think in fact 2 of the silks were on my list last year as well. But yes, there we go. So the very first one is something that I stumbled across at the Knitting and Stitching show, and it's from Bloomsbury Square Fabrics, and that's an amazing fabric shop. So if you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend that you do, and all the links to everything will be down in the description box down below. The one that I've got my eye on is the white silver geometric diamond Linton tweed, and it is £49.50 per metre, which is why I have not bought it for myself as yet. Now I am thinking that I would like to make a sew over it cocoa jacket with this fabric, because I think that would look really chic over the high-waisted jeans, knee-high boots that I wear, or the high-waisted jeans and heels that I can see myself wearing in the warmer months, but it's still going to need like a throw-over top. I plan on making myself a few kind of woven t-shirts in solid colours like white, black, in very luxurious fabrics if I can find the right ones. So I'm thinking that as an outfit would look really cool. So I'm hoping that there'll be enough left that I can squeeze out a bag or a purse from the offcuts after having cut out the main jacket. Now I am going to be sensible, and I am going to make myself a version of that of the cocoa jacket in a much more affordable fabric to double check that I actually do love it as much as I have loved it in my head, if that makes sense. So the other fabrics that I have on my wish list are the City Lights silk satin from Beckford Silks. Now that one, it's £30.50 per metre, but you have to order a minimum of 3 metres. I have seen a skirt that I loved on Pinterest, and this is the first time that I've seen fabric that even resembles that, and I basically want to recreate the skirt that I found. Now with 3 metres, I'm hoping that I'd also be able to get a top out of it as well, and I just think it would be beautiful. And then the other fabric is again from Beckford Silks, and it's the Country Garden watercolour blue silk satin, and again that's £30.50 per metre, and you need to buy 3 metres minimum. And the same thing, I am thinking a beautiful skirt, although I have traced out a McCall's pattern, top pattern, that is very me. So it's kind of blousey at the top, but then it has a waist detail here, ties to cinch it in, and then a peplum. So that could, and it takes 2.5 metres of fabric, so that would be a high contender for that one as well. So yes, basically anybody who sews will have a dream fabric that they have always wanted, and it's not going to be something you can surprise them with, because you're going to need to ask them what that dream fabric is and how much they need. It will be very well received if you treat your seamstress to their fabric fantasies. So with seamstresses always having dream fabrics, yes they will, but if they can't give you one off the top of the head, you can't go wrong with a Spoonflower voucher. Spoonflower is an amazing company that will allow you to have anything you can imagine printed onto a vast range of fabrics, which is really excellent quality. I have used Spoonflower for the last 7 years. I have a large range of their fabrics. Some are not as successful as others, but they do a swatch range which will give you an idea of what the fabrics will feel like and what the print quality comes out like, because they've started doing coloured dots on the swatches, which is great, because they used to just send out plain white ones, which gave you a feel for the fabric but not the print quality. I love Spoonflower. Yeah, they are a slightly more expensive way of buying fabric, but the range of prints that you can get from them are amazing. And as I say, if you can dream it up, you can find it on there, and if you can't find it on there, you can design it yourself. So you can't go wrong with buying the seamstress in your life a Spoonflower voucher. Definitely not. So next up, not everything on the list is this expensive. Next up, these were on my list last year and I believe that they'd sold out around the time that people were looking for my birthday presents, so I didn't get them, so I'm going to mention them again. And if you haven't seen this company, then hopefully there will be something that you are interested in too, and it's the Oh So Quaint pattern weights. So at the moment I don't actually use pattern weights, but I think that's because I don't own any pattern weights, and I think if I owned the Fondant Fancy pattern weights then I'd use them, or I would sit there and put them in a jar and make them look beautiful and just pretend that, yeah. She's just released a whole biscuit range as well, which is amazing. So yeah, highly recommend those. And again, from Oh So Quaint, we've got the magnetic donut pincushion, and again, this is just so cute. I love the idea. I have a couple of magnetic pincushions. They're very dull and boring, so this one would be awesome, and I love the idea of it being on the side and just looking really cute. So there's that. So one pair of scissors that I don't already have in my collection are applique scissors. These are great for narrow rolled hems, trimming back to for underwear making, trimming back elastics and things like that. They would be very useful, and if you have to have useful things, I think they should also be beautiful, which is why I love these Tula Pink duckbill scissors. They are just beautiful. I love the iridescent oil slick rainbow metallic look. I think it's really pretty, and these would be a pair of scissors that I don't hide away in a cupboard, that they would be out on display constantly. So there's that. So next up is actually a couple of ideas for subscriptions, and the first one is the Bag of the Month Club. Now I found out about this last year but didn't join, and then this year I joined in February. I have yet to make one of the bag patterns, but I am going to be participating this month because it's the Celine tote. I love the Bag of the Month Club. It's $40 and you get 6 really good bag patterns over the 6 months, so from January through till June. This season we're actually getting 7 because there was an extra pattern released this month, which is a little backpack, which is also really cute. And they are quite meaty projects. They're not beginner bag making friendly, but if you've made yourself a couple of tote bags, or if the seamstress in your life has made a couple of tote bags, this would be a fabulous present to give them because the value is amazing. There is a Facebook group, so you can ask questions, you can get support, you can talk to the designers if you're having any issues with any of the little tricky bits in the pattern, and you end up with some gorgeous handbags. And I'm not a dedicated handbag maker, but I do like being able to make my own, and I love being able to say to people when they're like, oh, where'd you get that from? Thanks, I made it. I mean, I love that about clothes, but when you do it with handbags, they just seem even more impressed. It's really cool. So yeah, I would suggest that one. And then I've been getting a lot of questions recently about where I buy my big 4 patterns when I'm based in the UK. Now the guys in America, you have the Butterick McCall Vogue BMV club where you can join up, and I don't know how much it is. I think it was $20 a year, I think, but you get the Sew Today magazine and you get the most amazing deals on the big 4 patterns. Now we don't get quite such a good deal over here in the UK, but Sew Direct will do a membership, and it's £8 per quarter, and you get the Sew Today magazine for that £8 plus a 40% discount on any of the patterns that you buy from them, which are all Calls, Butterick, Vogue and Quick Sew. And if there is a better discount on, and they very frequently do half price sales, you get that discount as well. And if you say, for example, they're doing half price on Vogue, but you also want to add some McCalls to your order, you'll get the 40% off the McCalls and half price on the Vogue. And if you spend over £20, you get free delivery. I know it's not as good as the stuff that you can get in the States, but it is a pretty good equivalent for what we have available in the UK. So I would highly suggest a subscription for the Sew Today magazine from Sew Direct. I have one. So next up is something that I bought for myself back in March. It's the Simflex buttonhole guide, and it's brilliant. I love it. It's a really cool thing. I don't know if you can get it anywhere but Guthrie and Ghani, but I know it's an American invention, and I was planning on buying myself one and having it shipped over, and then found that Lauren from Guthrie and Ghani had featured it on her vlog and she's stocking it in her shop, and I highly recommend one of those. If you buy that for the seamstress in your life, they will be very happy. One of the things that I used to hate about making shirts was that I would when you get to the buttonhole parts, it's right at the end of the process, and then by then, if you're using chalk or something like that, the markings will have rubbed off, and you're going to have to get your pattern pieces out again, lay them down and remark your fabric. Whereas you can use this guide, you can find out where the buttonholes need to be on the pattern piece, and you can just use a guide, take it over to the garment that you want to make, and get evenly spaced buttonholes with that thing. Genius. Love it. You can use it for spacing poppers and other things like that as well. So sewing gadgets are always well received. Another sewing gadget that I found whilst I was having a look through Guthrie and Ghani were finger guards, and they're little silicone basically they look like thimbles, but they're used for use in ironing. And the amount of times when I've been doing tricky fabrics that don't want to behave themselves and you can't just finger press them, and I've been ironing and I have burnt all my fingers on the steam from the iron, I'm like, oh good grief, yeah, and Mum's like, what's up? And it's like, nothing, just steamed my fingers again. Silicone finger guards, genius. Why did I not have these before? Need to get myself some. Or nearest and dearest, hint hint. Next up we have some books, and there are so many great sewing book resources out there. I have a few in my stash, and I have a few more that I would like to get. One of those being Couture Sewing Techniques, and there's actually about 3 books in that range that I would really love. That one is quite an easy one to do for significant others. You can go and have a look at their library, see what they have, and then get them something that's not there. There are some great ones like the Sewaholic Sewtionary. I love that. I have More Fabric Savvy, which is a brilliant book. It gives you an A to Z of different fabric types, how to treat them, how to wash them, how to sew with them, what kind of thread you should use, what kind of needle you should use. It's not exhaustive. There are fabrics that are not featured in there. For example, Viscose Challis, this wasn't featured in there, but there are some. It's a brilliant resource for lots of fabric questions that I find I'm getting quite frequently in the comments, so highly recommend that one as well. So just like most seamstresses will have a fabric wish list, they're also going to have a pattern wish list, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, fabric buying and pattern buying are totally separate hobbies. So as is sewing. So for me, the pattern that I've really had my eye on recently, and if you've watched any of my pattern stash videos, you know that I don't need any more, but the one I've had my eye on recently is from Decades of Style, and it's the Rodeo Gal shirt. My embroidery unit is working again, and I keep forgetting that, but I have all these amazing ideas for embroidered shirts, and I just think this one is absolutely stunning. And I can also envision turning this into the bodice of a dress, because just, yeah, I think it would be really awesome. So that would be my dream pattern. Now again, this might be one of those ones where your seamstress will have to tell you what to buy her, but she will have a wish list. Just ask her. And I'm saying seamstress, like, we all know men sew too. Julian, you are one of the awesome ones. So yeah, not necessarily female specific, but seamstress is an easy way of term to be using. But yes, just ask them, and they will have, I'm sure, more than one. I mean, I can give you way more than one pattern that I would like, but for the sake of not making a 50-minute video, we're going to stick with the one. And then I've got some more Etsy goodness for you. Small Girl Type Creature and I were sat there the other day. We literally put in sewing gifts, and some of the most awesome stuff came up. The first one being this tote bag. I'm going to the Festival of Quilts at the NEC in Birmingham, and for the Knitting and Stitching show I took a couple of bags. One of the ones that Susie sent me from America, and I got so many questions on it. This one says a lady never discusses the size of her fabric stash, and yeah, I think that's genius, and I will probably end up with about 3 of those over my shoulders at the Festival of Quilts, because I plan on buying a fabric there, funnily enough. But yeah, something like that, something humorous and useful would be very well received. And then I found this on Etsy, and I was just like, that is awesome, I need that. It is a smartphone stand, and it's like a mini deck chair, and you can have a variety of different fabrics, but I love the tape measure one. And I just thought, well, I'm constantly, when I'm watching, if I don't have my laptop down in the sewing room with me, I am always watching stuff on my iPhone, and I actually prop it up against my machine or against my little pin cushion that I've got that's a sort of a chicken triangle, so I'm putting it up against there. I need my pin cushion, and my sewing machine kind of moves vibrates, not a lot, but it does vibrate when I'm sewing. So the fact that the phone kind of slips over, so I just love the idea of having a deck chair dedicated for my iPhone on my desk. I think that's genius. So yeah, there's that one. And then the very final thing that I have on the list is expensive but beautiful, and this would be definitely for your significant other. It is the most gorgeous little scissors necklace, and if you watch the Sew Over It channel, you know Lisa Comfort has this necklace. It's from Alex Monroe and it's beautiful. It comes in either silver or gold, I believe. There are actually a few variations, but I particularly like the one with the scissors open and suspended either side from the chain. But there are some larger ones as well, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It is very expensive though, so that's definitely a I seriously love you sewing person in my life. And then finally, if all else fails, get the person that you need to buy a gift for to make themselves an Amazon wish list. They have everything on there, everything. They have friction pens, they have quilting rulers, they have French curves, they have the books, they have the patterns, also zips. I get a lot of my invisible zips from Amazon, all sorts on there. So get them to make a wish list and then just go through and pick out the things that you think are interesting. That way at least you know you're getting them something that they really want. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video and that it is giving you some ideas, and that it is useful for you to show to the friends, family and significant others in your life for getting you sewing related gifts. Some of the stuff that's on this list I already have, so it's not a totally selfish buy me all the things video. Hopefully it's helpful, but yeah, buy me all the things please. I mean, my small girl type creature turned up this weekend and she's already bought me my birthday present, and it's fabric, so you know, these things work. Anyway, on that note, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!